You are listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the urban sports scene on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia. Wole and Mo are your hosts. Ray Jeezy's out. Man, Mo, it's been a lit week for the Washington football team fans, excuse me. They upset the GOAT. And no one thought they was going. I didn't think it was going to do. We had the show last week. You know what I'm saying? We ain't thinking. We ain't thinking. Nobody out here going to be arrogant and say we thought they had a chance. Nobody thought they had a chance. No, we didn't. So, before we get into it, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Podcasts. Just search All Burgundy and Gold. Everything with the urban sports scene. Also tweet us at urban sports scene. Hit us up on our urban sports scene Facebook page. It's the time for the pregame. This is what we will have. This is what we have on tap. We'll talk about like I mentioned, we'll talk about the Washington football team upsetting Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and their upcoming game against my man Killer Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. I want to say that. That's my guy, Cam. Beautiful. All right, so yeah, back to the game, man. Let's get into it. Washington football team beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 29-19 Sunday. First off, man, give us some of your positives in that game, my man.
Some positives from this game was a commitment to the run game. I think that defensively in the secondary they played tight. There was no crazy big plays against them, and no turnovers by Heinicke.
Yeah, but he got lucky.
No official turnover.
I tell you all the time. It was on Twitter, and folks was like, he ain't turned the football over. I was like, that dude is the luckiest quarterback in the NFL. He may not have thrown an official turnover, like you said, but he had some drops. He had some interceptions drop and some plays where you like, dude, what you doing? But yeah, it was an efficient game, like you mentioned.
An efficient game, man.
Definitely
if you
efficient
look at
game.
it, we were talking about in previous weeks. We've been talking about this high number of attempts he's been having.
Yeah,
he's been averaging like 41 attempts, like 3 or 4 games in a row. They got that number down to 32. He was highly efficient. I'm 26 for 32.
Yeah.
I don't know what the percentage is, but I know if I do quick math, we're talking about 70, almost 80.
75, almost 75, 88.
Somewhere in that.
That's crazy. That's so crazy.
That's way more than we can ask for, right? That anybody can ask for. Gibson, even though the average wasn't there, but just giving them the ball, having the versatility on offense, being multidimensional, not being able to just pin your ears back on the young quarterback. He gave him something. Technically they ran all 3 running backs. Yeah. JD had 2 carries. Patterson had 4, even though they didn't do much with their carries. But just the commitment to the run game, I think is one thing that a lot of Washington football team fans have been asking for, right? I think they've been wanting to see if this team could do what we traditionally knew that young quarterbacks needed, like run the ball, play action off of that, and live with the results. And if you look at the efficiency from Heinicke, I think it had a direct result. I also think styles make fights. I don't know what it is about the Washington football team style, but this is 2 games consecutively that they've given Tom Brady. They've harassed him. They've harassed
because the playoff game, I don't say they harassed them in the first playoff game. They didn't. This game they really bothered. This game they really bothered him.
They bothered him. They bothered him. There was no official sack. Yeah, but he wasn't comfortable.
He wasn't comfortable at all.
He wasn't comfortable. And I think that's a testament to the coaching staff. I think clearly the bye week did them some good. William Jackson, even though catching interceptions hasn't been his problem this year. Yeah. Historically in his career, he's not a big interception guy. And he has multiple this year, and he's continuing that wave. Yeah. And then McCain joined the party. Yeah. So 2 offseason additions came in and made a play that changed the outcome of the game, and that was substantial. The run defense was also very stout, but I think Tampa kind of got away from the run game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had 13 total carries.
Yeah.
Tom Brady had one of them, and we know it wasn't a design run. So, and then Fournette only ran the ball 11 times. We know that Bruce Arians is historically, he has a knack for getting away from
the
run game, especially now that he has a quarterback that he can trust like Tom Brady. So I saw a lot of positives, man. I'm gonna swing it back around, man. What did you see?
Man. Like I thought, like I you said a lot, and that I agree with. To be honest with you, when you're looking at the running game, you talking about Gibson. Like, you mentioned that it wasn't, in terms of average yards a carry, it wasn't efficient. I won't say it wasn't efficient, right? But I like the way he ran. Like, he ran tough. He actually ran like a running back. Like, to be real with you, like, I was watching that game, I was like, he running tough. Like, that's the type of game where, back in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? Like, you playing in December, that's how you run. You may not hit the long run, but you are consistent getting 2 yards. You're still ahead of the change, right? You're not going backwards. So I like the way he was running. He wasn't dancing as much. Like, he was hitting the hole, and he was hitting it like with speed and a burst. And I think you need that against a team like you did. You needed that against a team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where their linebackers are fast. At the beginning of the game, they were trying to run some stuff on the edge, and that's not going to work when you have White and them boys out there ready to smack you, because they're fast enough. Devin White's fast enough to kind of like go sideline for sidelines. One of the premier linebackers in the game. So that you could tell, like, they knew that it wasn't going to really work. So I give Scott Turner a lot of credit. I love this game. I love this play call in this game. I thought he did a great job. When you're talking about the defense for the Washington football team, you mentioned like some of the names, McCain and William Jackson, which I think is the thing that's cool for William Jackson. His name really wasn't mentioned other than the interception. So what that tells you is he played good defense. He played solid, like real good defense. If your name's not mentioned as a cornerback, that means you're doing something. That means he didn't look your way. That means there's a reason why he looked your way, because you were around. And that means you played good coverage. You weren't leaving people wide open. Better communication. I think Landon moving from safety to linebacker, he's automatically the best linebacker on the team. No knock on Holcomb. Holcomb played a good game too, so I'm not taking that away from him. But his Landon Collins has been that effective at linebacker. Jonathan Allen consistently gets pressure, man. Like, I think this has definitely been a Pro Bowl caliber season for Jonathan Allen. He gets in, but he's the guy who I think he deserves to make the Pro Bowl with just the way he played. So positives in terms of as defense as a whole, I thought was great. I mean, you contained the GOAT, like, for real. Like, you contained the GOAT. If it wasn't for a fumble, maybe the GOAT doesn't even get a touchdown on that play to Mike Evans, right? So, like, you contain the GOAT in terms of the play calling by Scott Turner. And also, I mean, it's going to sound funny, but the kicking. Joey Sly came in and kicked well. I went 3 for 3, made all his extra points. I like to take credit, but I kind of mentioned his 80% field goal percentage last week, man. I mean, and I know, Washington fans were kind of up and down about the kicking situation, because you let go Dustin Hopkins, and then you bring in Blewett. And the Blewett experiment didn't last long. So it's kind of like you took away somebody that was tried and true. Yeah. And now you left with, at the time, what was it, journeyman, who really wasn't an NFL kicker. It wasn't an NFL kicker. It wasn't an NFL kicker. He wasn't an NFL. I'm talking about Sly. No, I'm talking about Blewett. Yeah, Sly was fine. Yeah. After the Blewett experiment, which was just an experiment, you ended up with kind of a journeyman, a guy that played for this regime before, but since that, he was on 2 teams this season alone. So, this is his 4th team in about 4 years. Yeah. So he's averaging a new team a year. So I can understand where Washington fans were not too, they were not too positive about that. They weren't thrilled at all. They weren't too thrilled, because as we all know, special teams is one of the major facets of the game. Yeah. And if your special teams fails you, you're probably not going to win, right? Exactly. You're probably not going to win. So Joey Sly coming in, going 3 for 3 and making some impressive kicks is definitely another positive that we could throw onto that list. I mean, when you beat the reigning Super Bowl champions, quarterback by the GOAT, you're talking about a defense that brought back all of the starters, even though they're a little banged up a little bit right now, but they still have
their nucleus in terms of that front seven, right? And I think when you were talking about Gibson earlier, you talking about the way he was running, I think it was appropriate to run this way against this team because Ndamukong Suh, Vita Vea in the middle, Jason Pierre-Paul, the young boy Tryon on the outside, those are not guys you want to run laterally against.
Yeah, they just they're gonna get pushed.
Yeah, they're gonna get pushed. They're gonna widen you out, and then you're gonna get smacked because you got these linebackers flowing. Levante David, Devin White
is
the car crash waiting to happen.
It's all world, man.
He's a car crash waiting to happen. Every time he gets over there, the play is over.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're not going to cut back into Ndamukong Suh all game and make it.
You're not going to. You're not going to. I mean, it's a vicious combination with Suh and
Vita
Vea. Like it's just a dangerous combination. You got two of the athletic for big guys, and also they're just physical. They're just point of attack. The point of contact. They're attacking. You know what I mean? So they're I like both. I've always loved Ndamukong Suh, and Vita Vea was a guy that I kind of was enamored with coming out of the draft out of Washington. But yeah, I mean, another positive, I got to add this in because just out of sheer toughness, man, Scary Terry continues to amaze me with his toughness, especially that key, the key drive. And I should say the drive to end the game was amazing. The 10-minute drive to keep Tom Brady off the field was great, but Scary Terry was keying that with the crossing route and he got smacked. I think that dude had a concussion. I just think he just toughened that up. But he's a tough dude, man. He just, to me, a lot of people want to, they want to say who the best player, they want to because of image or whatnot. But by far, he's the best player on the Washington football team. He's clutch. He's big time. It's you put so much on him. I mean, he doesn't have the best quarterback play, and he continues to put numbers up. There's no excuses with him.
Question, man.
So he just balls out, man.
This is quarterback 11 for him, right?
I believe so. It's just crazy.
I was just reading something on Terry. He's the Hall of Famers pick. He's Hall of Famers pick. The most underrated receiver.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Chad Johnson loves him. There are guys that don't play. These dudes love him. They love him on TV. They love him, bro. They love him.
But you got to love the story. I believe it was a 4th-round draft pick. He was the 4th receiver on the team in Ohio State. Had a good showing as a rookie last year, premier. This year, adding to that, looking like Pro Bowl.
You're talking about the first year. The first year before that is last year.
Yeah,
before last year. Last year. Yeah, year before that, he was with Jay Gruden. Yeah. He balled out with Case Keenum and company.
Man.
Then you gotta go. You go here. Last season where the Dwayne Haskins situation and Alex Smith and
4 quarterbacks in 1 year.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Now look again, another change. It's insane, man. Like he puts up numbers. It's almost like how I always credit DeAndre Hopkins. It don't matter what quarterback you give him, he's gonna still put up numbers.
They're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, they're gonna figure out. Scary Terry is in that mode and in the era where quarterbacks can mess you up, it can mess your numbers up. That's OBJ. They can't mess your numbers up. It doesn't bother Scary. Like that's dope. You know what I mean?
See, there's a trust factor there with Terry.
There is though.
I love Odell Beckham.
Me too. I love him too.
My one thing about Odell Beckham is he's a freelancer.
Yes.
He takes time to get the way he's trying to get. That's why Odell Beckham is always so wide open.
Yeah.
You can't deal with all that in front of you for that long. But you have to have a quarterback that's going to trust you eventually. And, as bad as everybody wanted to talk about Eli, now we see that Eli Manning's I'm going to give you a chance approach.
Yeah, like I think he wants to apologize. I think he wants to apologize to Eli.
He needs to. I need the apology to be as loud as
I think he wants to. I think he wants to on the low. I think he sees that the grass ain't always green on the other side.
Ain't always greener, man.
Just saying.
But speaking of grass not always being green on the other side, were there any negatives from this game given that they beat the GOAT? They beat the reigning Super Bowl champions.
I mean, obviously you got Chase going down.
Yes, sir.
I think that we can put that not on him. I said this on the post-game show. This is not a negative on Chase, though. It can also be looked as a positive because I think it forces what happens with Chase's injury. It's nothing to do with Chase. It forces the team, and on the flip side, can kind of it can be better defensively because he's out. not because of Chase though, it's because of the coaching. You know, when you're missing Montez Sweat and you're missing Chase Young, now your coaching staff won't believe that they can just rush forward to get to the quarterback. So now you gotta get
creative.
There you go. So now it forces your coaching staff to do what? Be creative with people been asking for. So now you can generate pressure, and which is probably going to help the secondary in this aspect of all right, now pressure, the ball's gonna come out a little quicker. Now we don't have to work. We don't have to be so dependent on our front four to always get pressure, which I thought was unfair to consistently say front four bring in pressure. I don't care how elite you are in terms of talent. You can't consistently ask your front four to get pressure all the damn time. So I think now it forces Jack Del Rio to coach defense and be more exotic when you're playing against some of these good or elite or new age offenses. I might have to put it that way. But it definitely was a negative. So I want people to understand it's a negative because you're losing a young talent. But I would have liked them to do some of the things they did when he was when he was on the field. They're playing good. They're playing good defense when he was on the field. But I would like them to bring some of the pressure they were bringing. Like they were bringing Landon. They were bringing Curl. They were bringing blitzes, man. They were bringing Jamin Davis. They knew they had to. You
got to get that guy off his spot.
Yeah,
you got to get that guy off his spot, right? And I think they did that. And I think that bye week gave him extra time to go in there, look at things, figure it out, and get Landon a little bit more comfortable with the role and showing him that he can be as impactful closer to the line of scrimmage than
it's the same thing that Jamal Adams is doing, bro. Like this is what I've been asking for a while, like just utilizing like Jamal Adams. The same thing. Jamal Adams still a safety. I mean, he still plays safety a little bit more than Landon, but he's basically Jamal Adams plays. If you want to say,
he's a linebacker, man.
He's pretty much a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? So why not? You can take advantage of the same
2 yards deeper than a normal linebacker would.
You can do the same.
In case something comes across.
Exactly. So you can do the same and be very effective, man. Like you can be very effective in that role. But negative. I was
about to agree with you. I was going to say, but I also found a positive in the Chase Young injury.
Yeah.
In that, I think this scheme can benefit from it because the front was multiple before Chase got there.
Yeah.
Right? And generating some pressure. It was still pretty good.
Yeah.
Right? So you can go back to some of those things, even though this team is built 4-3.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that they're going to spread things out anyway. Like, get some guys on the field. Another thing, I think that, can you imagine how more explosive Chase Young is going to be coming back off this injury by having to actually focus on generating that back, right?
Yeah.
And I also think it gives them time to work on some other moves.
Exactly. Agreed. I agree.
I think it gives them time to seek out the Bosa brothers that he's cool with, seek out some other guys and vets that he's good with. Once he gets back running on his feet, we wish he has a speedy good surgery and speedy recovery, all of that. And we're assuming that he's going to get back. We're assuming that by the spring, we're going to be hearing about Chase Young running and starting to do things. And I hope he gets a little bit more handsy. I hope he gets a little bit more physical with his hands and plays with a lower center of gravity now that he has to start from ground zero. You tend to see players come back a little bit more explosive because that's the first time they've ever really focused on those explosive movements outside of a football action.
Yeah.
You're just being explosive to be I tore my ACL before. You have to be explosive just to be explosive, just to get yourself to football status. So I think all of that's going to come with Chase, and I'm hoping to see him bounce back and take it to the next level which we was expecting this year, even though it was a down year for him, and see where he goes from there, man. So, what are your thoughts on it?
No, I'm with you. I think that's the most important thing. I mean, for Chase, that's it. I think, like you said, just like anything, any sport, you hope that if you, when I say lacking in certain things, the techniques, you're lacking in certain techniques. When you're able to sit and watch, you just hope that you get better. Like you see that with basketball players, when say like their jumper isn't the best jumper in the world and they get hurt, they sit back and now they're sitting and then now they're practicing their jump shot because they can't move. Start doing things with, with their jumper, like, shooting a little bit more than actually trying to just show their athleticism. So it's the same thing in this situation with Chase. I mean, you can't really do anything at the moment, but there are things you can look at tape and just look at and just observe yourself a little bit more, watch yourself a little bit more, because you're sitting down, you're not really doing anything. So at that time, you can use that time just to watch film and try to get better in techniques. Say, okay, I did this. That's why I didn't get any pressure. Or I did this. This is why I didn't. This is why or this, if I did this, I would have got the sack quicker. There's certain things like, he could have done. I mean, he can learn from just, sitting back and watching how to generate pressure. Like you talking about the Bosa, like he can now look at it. Maybe he's not watching the Bosas as much. Maybe, all right, let me watch. We all went to the same school. Let me catch some of the stuff they do in San Francisco.
Spring together, man.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see what they was doing in San Francisco. Let me see what he's doing this with LA Chargers. Let me kind of look at, all right, this is what they're doing. Okay, this is what I need to work on when I get like healthy enough to do this. Or whoever you want to copy, whoever you want to mimic. It gives you an opportunity to look at them, look at film, and kind of try to think about, this is how I want to put 2 and 2 together to become a better pass rusher. I mean, but also all this we're talking about is predicated on the individual. It's how bad this person wants it. You know what I mean? We can say, this gives you time to do it, and we acknowledge it, but it's all predicated on the individual. If he wanted, like if he really wants it, then it's there for him. Like he's got to want it. You know what I'm saying? Because like we all know the ability is there. That's not a question. Like the God-given ability is there. We're not debating that. Like, dude, you elite, bro. Like you got elite ability. But
hey, man, I think we all agree on Chase. We spoke about the offense. We talked about the defense. Got a quick question for you. We're going to touch special teams for just a half a second. Just a one word answer. Do you think that Coach Rivera has found his kick after Joey Slye went 3 for 3?
Yes, that's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? That's a wrap. Like
at least for the season, right?
For the season, definitely. I mean, there's no carousel. I mean, like now, at least if he misses, he misses. But I think he shows that he's a respectable kicker. Like he's decent enough where it's not a thing. You know what I'm saying? Man, you're listening to All Burgundy and Gold, everything with the urban sports scene on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM, Hopewell, Virginia. All right. Sunday.
It's here.
It's coming now. Like I've been talking this dude. It's like the boogeyman. I've been talking this dude. I've spoken to existence. But I thought he'd be coming here though. I thought I wanted him to be coming here. but anyway, it's kind of worse because it's the mesh. It's happening. Like Washington is going to meet Cam Newton. So it is happening. Sunday, Coach Rivera goes back to Carolina and coaches against his former team, the Carolina Panthers. He's also going to see the guy I just mentioned, Killer Cam. I wish I can do like a little, Killer Cam. I can't go do it.
Killer Cam.
Exactly. There you go. My man did it. All right. Cam Newton. What should be the game plan for Coach Rivera and the Washington football team?
The game plan for Coach Rivera and the Washington football team with Cam Newton is going to have to be predicated on first stopping Christian McCaffrey.
Yes.
Let's not get it confused.
Don't get it twisted. He's number one.
Not get it confused. He's the one.
He's the one.
He's the one, right? If they can, because we know he's multiple. If they can harbor him, Cam doesn't have his safety valve as much.
Yeah.
Cam doesn't have that play action game that he's going to need. He hasn't played football in about 4 months? 3 months. He hasn't played football until last week for about 3 months. This is not the same system he had in his first
totally different system.
Totally different. This is a little bit more wide open.
Yeah.
A little bit more wide open. So much so wide open that Sam Darnold looked good early in the year. My goodness, right? But they've been without Christian McCaffrey. And they've been without Christian McCaffrey for a significant amount of time, right?
Yeah.
So this offense is predicated on the pass.
Yeah.
And we know that hasn't been Cam Newton's strong suit for the majority of his career, and especially within the last 2 to 3 years of his career because of injury.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that out there. I'm not a Cam Newton hater. It's because of injury, because he was just MVP
not too long ago.
6 years.
Well, it's long ago now, but yeah.
But that the fall off ain't supposed to be that.
Yeah, dramatic. Right? And should be dramatic. Yeah.
So I'm looking to see how much of the playbook he can retain. He joked last week. Joked last week that how much playbook did he know? He said 2 touchdowns worth for the 2 touchdowns that he got. I know he knows a little bit more than that. I want to see what he can do with these weapons. I think this is more weapons now than he's ever had.
That's my point about what you're talking about offense with like the numbers he's put up. Like typically, to be real with you, he's had a tight end and a big wide receiver. Those are pretty much just like his main weapons. This is a little different. You got Robbie Anderson, and also he had the boy, the best of the best.
Okay, well, let me counter. Yeah. I think his inaccuracy was what the reason for the team being set up that way was his inaccuracy. He used to miss high. You get a big time, you get a big mistake.
Yeah, but I will tell you this though. When he had Steve Smith, Steve Smith.
Steve Smith is.
But I'm just saying, like you just saying, that's talent. Like he's not ruining talent. My point is not ruining talent.
I can't say that
because he's put up numbers. When you give him a good wide receiver, he's put up numbers. A good pass catcher because Kelvin Benjamin hasn't been good anywhere but with Cam.
I didn't think he was
good, period. But he didn't. But I'm telling you, the only numbers he put up was with Cam. But you're right though; they got Cam.
But as a rookie totally coming in the same draft as Odell and Brandon Cooks and all those guys, and Sammy Watkins and all that, he held his own for about 2 years.
2 years. Yeah, but to your point though, like Cam obviously loves taller wide receivers. I think everyone could tell.
I think he's built for that though.
Yeah, he's built for tall wide receivers. Shoot, even Heinicke's probably built for tall wide receivers. He always misses high. So I mean. Yeah, but to your point, I totally agree. You got the goal should be taking away Christian McCaffrey, and also you got to keep your eye on Moore. Like it is what it is. Like he's DJ Moore.
DJ's a problem.
DJ a problem. So he gets open deep, and you got Cam who does. I mean, we'll see how far we can see if he can throw it to DJ in terms of his arm strength. That's in question for a lot of people.
In terms of deep ball, I think the team is set up. I would say in terms of the deep ball, Robbie Anderson is the threat.
Yeah, but they both get open.
DJ can do everything.
He do everything.
DJ got the whole package, right?
Yeah, the whole package. Yeah.
DJ got the whole package. But Robbie Anderson, we know his speed is different.
Yeah,
his speed is different. And when he's allowed to display it, he's been 1,000-yard receiver. He's been
totally agree. So saying like he on both sides. It's all about from Washington's standpoint is to stop making one-dimensional. They've struggled against mobile quarterbacks in the past, even, when being healthy. So trying to keep Cam in the pocket. Got to keep Cam in the pocket. Contain him. Because he still is a mobile quarterback. Regardless of the fact, he got a rushing touchdown against the Arizona Cardinals on a goal line package. So, like... Even
in the passing touchdown.
Passing touchdowns. Yeah, exactly. So just trying to keep him in the pocket and just to contain everything. And then limit the big play. We just mentioned about Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. Like these are going to be harder covers for the cornerbacks. You know what I'm saying? So luckily you were tested, not to this extent though, with Mike Evans and Goodwin. Well, I like Godwin or Goodwin. It's Goodwin. Sorry, Goodwin.
Godwin.
I like it. It's Godwin. Thank you. My bad. Godwin. Which I do. I like both of those cats. So you were tested in terms of cornerback play. It's a different dynamic with these two. Because the speed and what they can all do in terms of big play dynamics. But I do think that, it's at least you've been tested recently. So you try to keep that same energy to kind of contain the big play. If you can do that, you can be in the game. But the Carolina defense, that's the thing. Like you're going to have to find a way to move the football on that defense.
You have to not turn
that ball because their defense is stout. That defense is stout.
You're going to have to run the football because these guys pack their hard hats and their lunch pails.
Bruh, they stout. And they believe
that. They come downhill
fast. Burns is a beast. Burns the beast. Washington seen this last year when they were trying to make a run. Carolina beat them easily. So
on a late interception by what's his name? Was it Boston?
Well, Teddy or lose, they were pretty much dominating most of the game. Matt Rule was doing what I've been preaching of late, and Wash was finally doing. He played the time possession game where he just waited. He walked the clock all the way down, like consistently once they got the lead, and it was like in the first half he was doing that consistently. So if they can if they can find a way to muster some points, try to jump ahead early. I think that's the most thing. You got to try to jump ahead early and be more physical. Like I like what I saw against Tampa. They were being physical. They weren't being finessed. Like try to be more physical than Carolina. Like that's the thing. That's how Ron Rivera wins football games. He doesn't, if you look at his track record in Carolina, it wasn't finessed. It wasn't this. It is about being more physical than your opponent. So if they can be more physical, try to be more physical offensively, then they should, they'll be in the game. Forget wins, they'll be in the game. This is a winnable game in this aspect. Cam ain't seen, but so much like Mo mentioned, Cam ain't seen, but so much football. It's still hard to pick up all these plays in this limited time. This is a new playbook. It's not like you're going to a familiar playbook. So you probably know that they're going to probably tailor things for Cam Newton. Probably use some of the things that he didn't, while he was there in Carolina, or with some of the stuff he's probably doing in New England under McDaniels, because he's used to certain things now. So yeah, that's
and if
the
they
thing.
Do that, it plays right into the hands of this coaching staff.
Yeah, because they know the best. Yeah, they know the best.
You know what I mean?
But,
so I think my only concern is, can the offense, the way Carolina's defense has been playing, can the offense muster some points? That's the thing. Have some consistent drives. They've been heavy. This has been a heavy turnover causing defense.
Yeah.
Like their linebackers are fast.
They're fast.
They have stout guys in the middle. Brian Burns can get after the quarterback. Yeah. They invested a lot in their cornerback position this year. They traded for Gilmore. They traded for Henderson. They had Dante Jackson because they lost the young boy, J.C. Horn. They got a solid safety that was a rookie last year that was in contention for the rookie of the year with Chase.
With Chase.
So they got good makeup. And I'm interested in seeing how this game plays out. I think last week we were adamant. Or like we were last week.
And Donna, we had real folks on. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Last week we were really down on this team going into a big game versus a hot team that we knew. And they surprised us. They surprised everyone, I believe.
Yeah. After the bye.
I don't think they were chosen by anybody to win that game.
No, not at all.
I think they messed up a lot of parlay tickets last week.
Did.
Sure did.
Fact.
Right. So I'm interested in seeing if they're going to carry that over. It is a rivalry game. This is Coach Rivera's first time back in Carolina.
Oh, he won it bad too. I don't care what you tell me. He won it bad. Yeah, he won it bad, bro. He won it bad.
Those are the games. Those are the games where you pull out all the stops, right? We've been talking about this newfound defense because Chase's absence, Montez Sweat's absence, how they're going to generate pressure to make sure, so that creativity and all that. I see a lot of that coming out. This weekend is the perfect weekend to do it. Perfect weekend to do it. You have a quarterback that hasn't played in a while. You can get after him, ruffle his feathers a little bit. And we know when Cam Newton gets down early, he starts to press, right? And when he starts to press, he starts to make mistakes. So he's trying to take the game over by himself. Yeah. That's what you want. You want a quarterback, or you want a player that hasn't been playing, that's trying to win the game, Superman mantra, all of that. You want to have him against the ropes.
Yeah.
So we'll see if the offense can do enough to keep up and make it a game.
Yeah. Because I'm with you on that. I think the defense will do a good job. Because I think, again, I told you, like, the trend is going upwards with the defense. Like, they've been playing good defense for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Like 4 or 5 weeks, definitely compared to what they were playing prior, but they're playing better defense. So I expect the defense to keep them in the game. I think, like you said, the big question is, like, what does offense do against the Carolina defense? I think that's really the main thing. If they have the same game plan of trying to be more physical, like running the football, they'll be okay. It gets to a point where you just want to make sure you're around the full quarter where you can make a play or two. But don't try to put everything on Taylor Heinicke. I think we've all seen that. There's no need to do that. Like, try to utilize what you have in Gibson, which Scott Turner did in last week. I'm giving him credit. So no, I'm not hating on Scott Turner. He did a great job. It looks like you may get Logan Thomas back. So he's gonna have his blanket in terms of that tight end that can kind of get the jump ball and this, that, and the other, which he's accustomed to. So utilize the run game, just play action off of that. But you really be physical at the point of attack. Be physical, and like, because you said, like, great point, Mo. Like, you're gonna have Gilmore probably gonna follow Scary Terry. You know what I mean? And He's one of the better cornerbacks, and he's one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL.
He's been hot too. Yeah, he caught an interception every game he's played. So
yeah, exactly. So you just want to make sure. Stuff. So you want to make sure, you kind of try to limit the turnover battle. You want to win the turnover battle. That's the main thing. You want to win the turnover battle, because when you're playing a game like this with two defenses that are playing it, that both just come off good defensive showings, like you kind of want to make sure you win the turnover battle. So if you're a Washington fan, you're looking at this game like, all right, if they can win this game, something good can happen. Maybe they can get some type of run. Like this half of the season isn't as difficult as the first half of the season. So you just hope that you can put some wins together. But I'll say this: if I'm Coach Rivera, it's this simple. Like you got to tell your players, hey man, we beat the defending Super Bowl champions, one of the better teams in the league. There's no letdown. So you've already shown me this. Like if you can beat this team, then we can beat anybody in the NFL. Like that should be the mantra. That should be the thought process. So there should be no feeling that this team is superior than you. You just beat the GOAT, and that Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. You know what I mean? So yeah, you gotta go into that mindset.
Hey man, so all that's left, brother. All that's left is, man, pick the score. Let's see if we can make some people some money.
Oh, bro, shoot, man, it's tough, man. Because if they lost to Tampa, I would have picked Carolina, and I would have wanted Cam to beat Ron Rivera. It's tough now. It's totally different. But it is a winnable game. I'm a firm believer this is a winnable game, a very winnable game. Almost like Denver. I am going to say Washington. Come on, both play well. Washington 27, Carolina 21.
Ooh, you got some points going up against two hot.
Not points. I mean, some fluke stuff that can happen, like some pick sixes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Yeah, I want Cam to play well too, but I want Washington to still win and be respectable. You know what I'm saying? I want Cam because I don't want the bad press. I don't want that.
I don't want the bad press for him.
Because I know people waiting. I know people are waiting. Like, I know this. They're waiting to say, oh, I told you so. And they won't acknowledge that he's playing against a team's defense that's kind of going upwards. But so it's going to always look like, oh, he didn't play well. So I'm going to go that route. 24.
Hey,
how about yourself?
You said 27 to
21.
21. 27, 21. I'm going to go the opposite direction, man. I'm going to go Carolina 24-17.
That's cool. That's a realistic one too.
Yeah, I can see that happening because of the way that both defenses are playing. Christian McCaffrey is he's my what am I trying to say? He's my difference in the score.
Maker. He's a difference maker.
He's my difference in the score. 24-17. I see Christian McCaffrey making a play that might change the outcome of the game. I think Cam plays a good above average game.
Yeah.
He starts to build from there. So we'll see, man. Tell the listeners where they can find us at.
Hey, subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Podcast. Search All Burgundy and Gold Errrything with the Urban Sports Scene. Also tweet us at Urban Sports Scene and hit us up on our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Mo and I appreciate you all for listening. Hopefully Washington gives you something, happy about on Sunday. We'll probably have our post-game show too after the game. But anyway, you've been listening to All Burgundy and Gold Errrything with the Urban Sports Scene on Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia, for ages. You dig? Deuces. A mega. Lead us out, big homie. Peace.